This time I will tell you a funny short story, The Country That Had No Onions. I hope you can enjoy it and you can learn some of a moral in this story. Let's start the story. Once upon a time, there was a young man who desired to advance in his life. He met a well-traveled man, while deciding what business to start to support his family. The man told the young man wonderful stories about his travels, and then he mentioned a country where there were no onions. "There are no onions," exclaimed the young man. He had never heard of such a thing in his entire life. How can anyone enjoy the true pleasure of food, if onions are not present? He bought onions, loaded them into his cart, and set out on his journey to this enchanted land of no onions. After a few days, he arrived in the onion-free country. He made his way to the palace, where the guards were intrigued enough, by the strange cargo to let him meet the king. "I bring you a great gift from my country," the young man declared proudly. "The plant is indigenous to my region but not to yours. It has the extraordinary ability to improve the flavor of any food. It would be wonderful, if I could offer you this magnificent plant in exchange for you introducing it to your people." The emperor was initially hesitant to allow the strange plant to grow, but he eventually allowed the young man to prepare some delicacies with the onions. The young man used all of his culinary skills to prepare the feast. The dinner that night was attended by all of the empire's ministers, nobility, and senior officials. The feast began after the young man finished the initial tasting. Then everyone in the room began to eat the food. It didn't take long for the hall to devolve into a loud fit of excitement. Everyone praised the food's aroma and flavor. The king profusely thanked the young man, demanded the entire batch of onions, and paid him in gold. The young man met a trader on his way back home. He told his wonderful story about the country. That night, the young man reminisced for hours about the splendor and magnificence he had witnessed in that faraway land, where gold was worth less than onions. He also informed the trader that he had discovered that the country lacked garlic. The trader was ecstatic to learn this and believed that by introducing garlic to the country, he could replicate the young man's success. Garlic is far more flavorful and aromatic. He reasoned that if they were giving gold for onions there, he could expect diamonds for garlic. The enterprising trader carried huge bags of garlic, and embarked on the journey to the country without garlic, his mind racing with the riches he was sure to receive. They were more open to the idea of trying his garlic, because the introduction of onions had recently overjoyed the land. The royal guards escorted the man, carrying the new herbs to the king. The king asked him to prepare a garlic feast. The trader was overjoyed, and prepared several tasty garlic dishes. As expected, the garlic received even more praise than the onions. The emperor debated the reward for their noble visitor, who introduced them to garlic, for a long time with his ministers. After some deliberation, they all agreed that the gold was insufficient for such delectable fare. So they decided to give him the most valuable thing they had to offer. What could be more valuable than gold? Onions. The trader returned home that night with bags full of onions. Thank you for listening my story. I hope you like it. Please show your support by click like and subscribe to this channel. And when you want another story to read, please comment below. My name Kak Aiko, see you on the next story.